Hello friends, my name's Jack. I'm a media composer and producer from the UK. Today I wanted to delve into the back end of a project that I've recently been working on. This is a beautiful film documenting a really amazing installation piece that was displayed in the Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art in Korea. I had the massive privilege of scoring the documentary film, which was breaking down the project. This is a really beautiful installation piece by the artist Uram Choe. He's been described as a bit of a mad scientist artist, just incredibly creative and incredibly beautiful artworks that he produces. The film was directed by Michael Beach and produced by his lovely wife Juwon, and I just felt so privileged to be brought on as a composer for this because it's just creative rocket fuel when you have such a incredibly powerful visual and such a lovely concept and such a clear vision. It's just wonderful to be a part of something like this. So I usually start every project with a sense of kind of crushing imposter syndrome, and this film was no exception. Because I respect the artist and the director and the producers so much, when you're presented with the finished film or even snippets of the film, for me at least, I feel a real responsibility to enhance what I'm looking at and to not detract from it in any way. I want the music to kind of flavour the air of the film instead of imposing itself. So I really wanted to understand the fundamentals of what this installation piece was about. And when you boil it right the way down to the bedrock, it's about the relationship between the digital world and the human world, and these machines that we're making and these algorithms that we're creating, balanced with this human spirit that kind of runs through it all. So I tried to use that as a linchpin to start the project off. I wanted to create some very digital sounds and then balance them with very, very human sounds. Okay, so the very first sound that I worked on within this project was this lovely field recording of the sound of this mechanical table. Mike, the director, did some high quality recordings of the mechanical movement of this beautiful table that's weighted to roll this straw head around. So the mechanical sound started sounding pretty intense like this. So I spent some time and I cut those sounds up to create some kind of pulsing rhythms within this piece, and they ended up sounding like this. I love that sound. So on the digital side, I was looking for a sound that would represent the non-human element of this equation, and it took me a very long time and a lot of feelings of hopelessness before I eventually found this beautiful sound from Hyundai's plugin. This is a really interesting plugin based around old test equipment. And after playing with this for quite a while, this sound popped out. I just love that so much. And then to stack on top of that is a classic thing that I do with guitars. This is just from the Fender Tele, and it's a sound that I go back to quite often. It's just using the volume knob and creating these beautiful swells which are very unique to the guitar, which kind of adds a bit on top of this digital sound. So for me, that's already putting us into a space, into a room. There's space around those sounds. In the documentary film, in the physical room that the installation is in, I wanted to try and capture what that space might sound like. Using reverbs that document spaces, I came across some really lovely rooms. And then I wanted to contrast that with the most human sounding thing that I could possibly find. And what's more human than a cello? The cello to me is one step removed from the singing voice, and this beautiful cello here really helped to tell the other side of the story. just love that so much. And then as the piece progressed, I just wanted to add some more emotional weight into it. So I ended up cycling through lots of ideas and landed on just some straight, simple piano chords, which just create another layer of emotional content within the piece. And the piano is really not doing anything other than that big chord just to hold the bottom end down. And fundamentally, that really is it. I found this to be such a beautiful project to work on. It was so creatively enriching. I try and think of a project in terms of what the piece is telling you that it needs, not to overshadow. Just think of the imagery and think of the space. If you're lucky enough to work on projects that have clear visions, clear artistic visions, then the piece will tell you what it needs. It's just a matter of honing your taste and distilling it down to the absolute basic minimum of what a piece needs, and no more, and to not overshadow, and to understand that the job is to flavor the air and to frame the artwork instead of shouting all over it. So thank you so much for watching this. If you've made it this far, I would love to have any questions from anyone. If you're interested, I'll see you on the next one.